Hi guys, welcome back. I am Maya with Simply Bloom. So today we are dealing with something called Aster's yellow. Now I don't have a whole lot of experience. This is the first time dealing with it in my garden, but I've done a little research that I would bring you along with me. If anyone else has dealt with this in their garden, feel free to add advice to the comments that other people can check out as well. So, Aster's yellow is a plant disease that is carried from plant to plant by a leafhopper. From what I can understand, it's very, very common in coneflowers or echinaceas, but it can affect up to 300 different plant species, including trees, annuals, perennials, and then also weeds as well. So there is no cure. So once you get it in your garden, the best thing that you can do is remove the affected plant specimen, because if you leave it, when there is no cure, plant's going to die anyways. And two, if you leave an infected plant there, a leafhopper could come, get infected with that plant, and then just spread it to plant to plant. Now, this can be spread also, from what I can understand. It's kind of like, depending on what place I researched, I would get different answers, but it says that you can spread it as well from pruning and dividing plants. So just another great example of why you should disinfect your pruners every time you move on to a new plant, because if you have a disease in one plant, you don't want to spread it. So yellow asters, there's the name aster in it, but that does not mean it only affects asters. In fact, my asters look completely fine and it's on my coneflowers. Now, they say if it's on your coneflowers, there is a mite that looks very similar. It produces damage that's very, very similar to Aster's yellow. However, there's some differences. So both the mite and Aster's yellow affects the bloom of the flower. So the bloom looks stunted. It can get discoloration. So all of mine are kind of like this green bloom. But then unlike the mite, Aster yellow also affects the leaves. So if you have a plant or a echinacea that it's just the blossoms that are being affected and not the rest of the plant, it might not be Aster's yellow. It could just be the mite. The Aster yellow affects the whole plant. So you'll see stunted growth, meaning that it stays short. The leaves will turn yellow, so it'll look similar to chlorosis. Leaves will turn yellow, and then they will also start to twist. And I have some perfect examples that I can show you. So I have a couple coneflowers here side by side. You can see these blooms are looking funky. So at this point, all these blooms should look white like this, but this one's staying green. The tops have got some weird tufts coming out of them. This overflow plant looks fairly okay. We have a couple leaves that are starting to turn yellow there. Nothing too crazy. This plant next to it looks even more insane. This is a coneflower as well. This is a Cheyenne spirit. This one's just a white coneflower. But you can see how the leaves are starting to turn yellow. They're getting almost like wavy, twisty. They're not supposed to look like that. This one next to it looks pretty good. I'm not going to touch that one. I had another two coneflowers here that, let me show you. When they came up, look just like this. This is a coneflower. This is all the taller. This one's gotten. It also spread a bunch of seeds. But you can see like the leaves are all yellow, twisty-turvy. That's as tall as it's gotten. I have a bunch of seedlings in here that I just left from the Echinaceas self-seeding. Those look fine. So I think I'm going to remove all the affected plants, leave the seedlings, see what happens. This is another one I'm going to be taking out. So ultimately I'm going to be removing almost all of the Echinacea here in this bed. This bed's just getting an overhaul. Even this one. Like I said, the leaves don't look horrible on this one, but we get some weird blooms. And just to be on the safe side, I'm removing it. Now, how to properly remove Aster's yellow. So I'm not sure if I said it's a bacteria infection that lives in the plant cells only. It cannot live in the soil, just in the plant cells. Supposedly, you can dig it up and bury it in your compost. You need to bury it so no insects can get infected with this plant and then spread it to other ones. I feel uncomfortable burying it in my compost. I know they said that it cannot spread from plant to plant unless bitten, but I don't like the idea of putting anything diseased in my compost pile. So I am actually going to be bagging it and discarding it at the dump. That's what I will be doing. You do your own research. If you feel comfortable burying it into your compost pile so no other insects can get to it and spread the disease, that's fine. According to my research, they say that once the plant dies, so like once it shrivels and dies in your compost, the bacteria infection also dies, like it needs a host and it can't spread to the rest of your compost. That's what I read. If you feel comfortable doing that, then by all means do that. Me personally, I'd prefer not to put anything infected into my compost. So I will be bagging it, throwing it away. They also said that you can burn it. Burn the whole plant, and that also kills the infection as well. We're in a bit of a drought here. I know it's hard to tell, but we aren't burning anything right now. I know I could probably burn it in the middle of my driveway on my gravel. It's not going to spread the fire, but just to be on the safe side, this is the route I'm going to take. I don't know if I'm going to plant anything there in its place. I know some people say that you can just like plant it back with something else right away, but just in case I don't get all the roots, because they say that Aster yellow lives in the roots, survives in the roots as well. So that's why I'm going to be digging it up, getting as much of the root ball as I can. That's what we are going to do. So let's get started. I have to say, out of all the perennials that this could have affected, I'm glad it's the coneflower, because as beautiful as coneflowers are, and this breaks my heart to have to dig this plant up, because it still is really beautiful. You can plant Echinacea by seed and find seed packets fairly inexpensive, and there's so many beautiful varieties. I did not plant these by seed, but all the other varieties that I have in my garden, I planted by seed. So it's very easy to find good Echinacea seeds. This is a great example of Aster's yellow. Dwarf plant, curly leaves, discoloration, stunted. Perfect example right there. Never even bloomed. Now I have two Echinacea here that very well could be the mite. You can see the top of the flower. Same with these. They got some weird tufts on the front, but the leaves and the plants themselves look fine to me. Hi, Jasper. They're not stunted. They still have very green leaves. A couple of the lower leaves are starting to yellow, which at this point of year, approaching fall, is not uncommon for perennials. However, just to be on the safe side, I am going to be removing these, and these are ones that I planted from seed. I still have plenty of I still have the seed packet left over, so this is going to be something that's very easy to replace these plants with next spring. So just to be on the safe side, these are going as well. I need to get a thumbnail picture, but I don't know if I should smile because I'm not happy about this. Or like look disgusted. What does one do for a picture for YouTube? But anyways, this is a proper example, like I mentioned, of the Aster's yellow. Deformed blooms. Half the plant is stunted. It gets like those curly yellowing leaves similar to chlorosis. So there we have it. I ended up ripping out almost every single echinacea in that circle bed that I have. I left 3 of them. I'm gonna bag these up. I brought out 1 garbage bag, but I think I'm gonna need more. And yeah, very sad thing to do, but like I said, it can spread to 300 different plant species, including trees, I read. And this is the easiest form to deal with it now before it spreads to big trees and other things. And like I said, I can replant these by seed next year. So out of all the plants, I'm glad it was these and not other varieties. Also, to keep your beds weed free as much as possible, which I am definitely struggling with this year. I'm not on top of my weeding game, but they said that this disease can transfer to weeds as well, like perennial weeds. So keep your bed weed free, because if weeds get infected in your bed, then again, leafhopper feeds on the weeds, feeds on your plants, feeds on your trees. Not good. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. And if you see any signs of this in your garden, please take care of it. Not fun, but it is necessary for the health for the rest of your garden. So have a great day. Bye.